This is the solution to Benjamin Franklin's locker Lego puzzle box. The first thing I want to say is I consider Chris Ramsay's solution to the puzzle to be totally valid. He adhered to the rules that I gave him, and he pulled a rabbit out of a hat and got to the end of it, bypassing a few of the steps that I had intended. But it's a legitimate solution. A few things about this box. This is the box that if you have built your own, this is the one that follows the video, that follows the instructions, and it has a few things that are different from what I gave him. So first of all, I have these green money tiles in here to sort of give clues that you're on the right path and what the next step should be. In the box that I sent to Chris, I removed these and replaced them with various other color sliders. And so that made the box more difficult. The other thing that I did was I really disguised this button on the bottom. So I had an additional layer on the bottom that had a button here, but it had other sort of squares that looked similar to this, and it just looked more chaotic, so it didn't draw attention to itself. So it was a harder box than this one. But now I'm just gonna solve this one. So the first thing you need to do is actually to take this this key or this tool off. This is actually locking the first step right now. So as soon as I take this off here, I can now push that like this. Okay, so that's two steps actually. Now that I've pushed that, if I push this back, I now have a money tile sticking out. So that's 3 steps. 4 is to use the tile, this tool here, and that popped this money out right like that. Okay, so that's 4. And we don't need the tool actually anymore after this. So I'm just gonna place it back here. Now this is where Chris got hung up a little bit, and in my experience, about half of people get hung up here based on what happens next. So if they tilt the box this way, well, I'm tilting it, but it's not happening. This just sort of falls out. This is free. There's no resistance in this, right? So he gave it a pull, and it pulled out like that. And that's actually the incorrect move. The 5th move is actually to push it in, but there's a little bit of resistance. So you're feeling this move free. It is deceptive, and people do get hung up here. So the 5th move is just to push this in like that. You see that popped out this money tile right there? So let me show you that again. Again, this has the resistance of 3 sliders, but it's not a lot of resistance. It's just you have to try it. And that pushed that out. So that's 5. 6 is to actually now pull it all the way out. 7 is this button here. So I'm gonna push that in like that. And see it pop these out over here on this side. So let me just do that again. 7 like this. Okay. And he had actually in his solution identified some of these steps. So 8 is now to slide this over. Watch this. I have to move that way. Okay. 8 is then to push this, slide it over and push it back in that way. So just pop this one out here. And actually a lot of people get stuck here not for indefinitely, but you actually have to pull this back out. And I count that as a step because it slows a lot of people down. You can't do this until you pull this out. So that's 9, 10, and then if you push the button in on the bottom right there and pull this out, that's 11 or possibly 12 steps, depending on how you count it. So that's the solution, the design solution to Ben Franklin's locker.